are here at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, and we have the pleasure of meeting with our good friend Jan-Erik. Thank you very much for taking some time with us to check out their brand new 45 right here behind us. We've seen some videos, we've seen some pictures, but this is our official first look, so we wanted to sit down with him, go through the details of it, show you guys everything in between, but also get some information of what your idea was. What did you guys create here with the 45, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, so welcome to the stand at the Convention Center on the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. So we're actually having the US premiere on the 45 here, and behind me you see the first out of 5 models that's going to come out in the years to come. So the cross cabin for us is one of our, let's say, #1 brand ambassadors. So the multifunctional, user-friendly, everyday boat is now taking into the biggest adventure we've ever done it before. As we have on the house side stickers as well. So it's more or less our biggest investment when it comes down to how Axopar sees future of 45-foot boats being utilized for day boating, but also really diffusing the boating itself, so that you can actually now with the 45 start combining indoor living and indoor functions and features more with the outdoors as well. So diffusing the line between a cabin boat and an open day boat or a day cruiser.
Right, that's something we've noticed with your boats. Although you do have that enclosed model, you have the ability of opening that thing up and really feeling like you're outside and enjoying the elements, which, you know, you can benefit from both of those, obviously, having small children and air conditioning, or being out at the sandbar and just wanting to enjoy that ocean air. So you guys have done a great job of that. We've been very impressed with just the R&D and the work that you guys do to make this thing efficient. The performance of it is incredible. The bottom, you can see the time and effort that they put into it, and we'll get into the details of the performance and what you've been able to achieve on this platform, both with performance and, again, the quality of the build and the price point. It's really a phenomenal product, and congratulations again on achieving that again with the 45.
Yeah, for us it's always been about, so the #1 mission of Axopar is getting more people out on the water. So price point for our Axoparians is also important, that we really want to keep pushing the standards of how much a boat should cost down to the bare minimum that we're able to do, but also at the same time really focusing on making one of the most fuel efficient boats that is out there on the market. And especially now with the let's say like a small shift in economy and small shift in people's attitudes and mentality of thinking of how they want to do boating in the future, price point and fuel efficiency for us is on point, which were I would say the grounding principles how our company was founded on in 2014.
Very good. All right, well, I think we should take a look at the boat. We're going to go through every detail. There's a lot going on up there, so let's make that happen. Okay, so we're here at the Transom area, the power plant of the Axopar 45. So, Jan, if you can just go through the details and why you set this up with the triples, which is not popular, I guess, or a common setup for a 45-footer.
Yeah, I would say so. The one thing is that we selected triple outboards because we really love the Mercury V8s and the 300s. And how we've done the fuel efficiency and the hull efficiency and the hydrodynamics of our boat is that this triple set with 900 horsepower in total is actually doing over 50 miles an hour in top speeds, but you can really do very good cruising speeds around 35 knots, and the most economic speeds you're getting around 25 to 30 knots, and then you're doing it with 1 gallon per mile. So for a 45-footer, we don't need 4 engines. We actually would not even probably need triple engines. We could run 2 450s if we want to, but still we wanted to have the maneuverability, and also with the JPO that you can have as an option on the boat, we still wanted the triple engines for the maneuverability of the boat. And still, the price point with triple 300 is still less than with 2 450s. So in that sense, again, price point.
Sure. No, these engines have been phenomenal. Every boat that we jump on with these, you just feel the difference, and it's been incredibly impressive. So to be able to have this 45-footer, some may say it's underpowered, but to be able to do 50 knots
easily
and cruise at 35, doing 1 mile per gallon, I believe you said it was 375 gallons of fuel. So you get everything you need with triple outboards without the extra maintenance and headache of having to quad. So that's incredible.
That's for sure, and that's again going back into the founding principles of our company. We really want to be looking at fuel efficiency, and that is also what we are every single year with every single model we do it to improve ourselves. So we are not really looking at what competitors are doing. We're actually doing and improving and competing against ourselves to make better products every year over and over again.
Sure.
Let's step on board.
Let's do it.
I can actually show you something on the aft deck. The Axopars are always known to have different modular options on the aft deck. And on this boat, we actually made a new feature that I haven't seen on any boat even today. So we have done the multi-storage solution on the 37s, but we thought that, hey, maybe we do something more. So we actually did it in a way that we now have a table and a very nice U-sofa setting with still full of storage underneath. You still can use all the hatches around. So now you can sit easily 8 people under the sunshade with a table, enjoying your day out on the water, but also you can lower the table and still have the full sun pad if you want to. And now also we had a limitation before that when we had a wet bar in the back. You could only have the wet bar when you didn't have any other options.
Right.
So we came up with a new idea, and we actually offered, or we took a small section of the fender storage and made it into a full-size wet bar.
Oh, wow.
On the port side of the bow. So we have a top-loaded fridge, electric grill, sink, but we still also have some storage underneath. So you still have space for fenders and other stuff.
That's excellent.
And now with this, you can have any of our options on the aft deck and still use this. So you can have the full-size aft cabin, you can have it with full open aft deck, you can have it with this multi-storage solution, anything. And this works with every single option you choose.
Well, it's always great to see the amount of options you guys tend to offer. Basically a configuration out there for everybody. So if you want this completely enclosed, you can have that with an extra berth underneath. I believe you're offering that here.
Yes.
This option, which is great to have this much seating. And what you guys are going to notice on these Axopars is just visualize and notice how many space and entertainment spaces there are. So I don't know how many people you can have on this thing, but you could probably have 4 or 5 different conversations without interrupting each other and being able to work your way through this boat without interruption at all. So keep that in mind as we walk through, and you guys obviously do a great job with this. I can visualize myself hanging out in this area, grilling some steaks and hanging out and enjoying this very much.
I think actually this 45 is the first cabin boat ever done with outboards. When we talk about a cabin boat that is fully enclosed with walk-around decks.
Okay.
I don't actually see, even from the US standpoint, that there is another boat brand that is offering full walk-around boat with triple outboards or with outboards in that sense, in this size range of products. But let's move again a bit forward, and now we're getting into the interesting stuff. So you've seen a lot of things on many boats. For example, you have floor spaces that extend. Well, on an Axopar, we didn't want to do that. So we still want to have, of course, the full height of the sides, but when you want, you can lower them down, and now we use them actually as an extension of a balcony, so that you can easily be seated in here, way more safer, because for us, now even with the balcony doors down, you still have a space where you can move around. So even if the boat is rocking, you still have a sensation of safety. But if this were a flat floor, first of all, it's going to be banging in the waves, because you're always having the boat rocking. Now we get some clearance out of the water, but it's also a really cool sun pad. Of course, on a cabin boat, this was a very strange solution. We first developed this for the open boats that will come out later. And we were thinking, who would want to have a balcony when the cabin door is fully closed? But what we actually then did is that we also made a new feature that's not been seen before, is actually now having 2 sliding doors. You can move the front door forward and have full access straight into the back, and now we can actually be seated inside of the boat, and we can sit in different locations on the boat, and we can still, take in the full, opening up the sunroofs, opening up the other side of the sliding doors. You have a full open air boat, and you're still very easy to move around anywhere around the boat. Let's go actually
in this dining area. This brings you into the conversation, gives you a comfortable spot to sit. I know you guys are just watching this on a video, but if you sit here, it really does feel well designed and brings you into this entire dining space back, after this pilot house area. So
and as I said, this is where we really start diffusing the differentiation between a fully enclosed cabin boat and a fully open day boat.
Right.
If we still go forward, of course, what we have standard on the 45 is the Gullwing doors.
Yep.
And what the Gullwing doors are doing is not only access for luggage or stuff, but it's actually a really cool feature to have when you're out on the boat and you're staying outside. You maybe got a bit of too much sun. Now you can actually very easily move inside of the front cabin, and you have fresh air moving around inside of the boat. and you can still be in a bit of a shelter, but you're still not fully secluded.
Getting a breeze.
And this actually opens up the usability of the front cabin into a whole other level, because on many other boats where these are fully enclosed, you will never want to spend time in the front cabin at all.
Yeah. And we actually have first-hand experience. I don't know if you guys watching know this, but they were gracious enough to work out a 37 with us that was a similar configuration to this larger model, but we spent an entire week on it. And I think I personally went on it 6 days in a row. Took family out, we took our team out, we did some waterfront real estate viewings on it. So we got to experience what this stuff actually does in real life, and really did notice that this Gullwing seems to capture that breeze and funnel it through, and you'll see you'll have another opening into the cabin. So it does open that airway and get you that breeze where it does make it comfortable. Where in Miami, other's, if there's not AC in there, you're not walking into a cabin space. But
and this again, you don't need to run the AC. This is already fully good enough. And still, at the end of the day, usually front cabins and our boats, they are fully accommodative to overnighting, of course. But there are, I would say, 4 out of 5 times you're not going to do overnighting when you're out on an Axopar, but you still have the full option for it. So to utilize the front cabin as a really nice nook or a lounge, go read a book, get some shelter from the sun if you got a bit too much, it's really easy now with the Gullwings.
Yeah.
Now if we're actually then closing down the Gullwing doors, what is actually also now creating is a really cool front area that you can really be seated again. A lot of people. So you have cushions in the front, you have a nice sun lounger, but also with the extended Mediterranean cushioning on top of the Gullwings, you can easily be seated. I don't know how many we would be fitting in here, but again, talking about having 15 people on board, they will just disappear on the boat, because you can easily have 6 people in here. It's not going to be crowded. 6 people in the cockpit, 8 people in the back saloon. So it's just, you know, like a full functional everyday day boat. Even this is fully enclosable.
Yeah.
Also, what the Mediterranean cushioning is actually, it's with a rubber backing inside, so it's actually also waterproof. So even if you get a torrential rain on them, they will get damp, but they will dry very quickly, because there is no permeation whatsoever because of the rubber backing on them.
No,
also,
nice
what we've found out, we're now been using the Mediterranean for over a year. Even sunscreen and things like this don't really, you know, make stains. There are a lot of materials where you see sunscreen stains immediately, marks on it. So this is really nice material, and I really like the sensation of it. And so this is just.
What is the beam on this boat?
We're talking about width is 3.35, if I remember correctly. I don't remember that in
the
feet.
Conversion. We'll do the math and put it on the.
Yeah, we're doing the math there.
But yeah, no. Again, for a 45-foot boat, 45 is a big boat. But in a center console, sometimes you see some of these center consoles that we come across that don't seem to have the ability of utilizing all the space like you guys tend to do. So again, this is another massive area up here where you, like you said, you can have 6 people having a conversation, eating some fresh fruit, having a drink up here, and not even realizing what's happening back there. So it seems like there's endless options and features, and it just doesn't.
This is the thing we do, and this is the things that we put extra hours and extra effort in doing. To start doing something like this from zero is very hard, because it's again thing of we more or less accrue this sort of wealth of knowledge in our company, and we have really good designers and teams that work out all these cool solutions on board, all for our Axoparians to enjoy then out on the water. So it's, I would say, it's just keeping on competing against yourself, doing better product year after year, keeping a tight look on the cost of the boat. So even if we've been forced to raise our prices a bit because of the inflation and the raw material price surging, we're still probably, when you're talking about dollars per boat, I think still Axopar is one of those that had made the least price increases on their products still. And that is something that we keep pushing every single day. Actually, another cool feature that we have, which is a US product, is the Psionics. And the Psionics is actually going to be standard on all the Axopar 45s. So the night vision camera from the Psionics, we have it as a standard, because we really want it also, again, Axopar is always about making boating easier, making the captain feel more confident behind the steering wheel. So again, having a night vision option, perfect for any day of driving, especially out here in Florida, where you really want to stay out a long time, and even just admiring, I always admire the skyline of Miami and Fort Lauderdale when I'm driving out and the sun has set. So that is something really spectacular.
Psionics, we're familiar with them. We worked with them with their handheld products, and what you see out of that is phenomenal. I haven't tried one of these yet. I know we were going to work with you guys on one of these, and we hope to be able to get that chance.
We're going to get you on the water with this one.
Yeah,
very
love
soon.
to see how this new product is working out.
Cool. Let's have a look inside, still on the helm. So we're not still stopping here. So there's a lot of new things that we actually also brought in here. We have an aft cabin, and we also have here different options inside. So in terms of accessibility, we made the table to actually move on runner. But what we also did is to move the wet bar. So that now, for example, when we have the sliding doors open and we would want to have full access on both sides, the only thing I do is I push the wet bar fully forward, and now I have easy access all around the boat. Or then the opposite, if I'm going to be driving or I'm going to be entertaining behind the wet bar, I just open it and I close it, and now I have a very intimate seating, everybody in here. But what additionally I then create is a leaning post. So now we can be 6 persons leaning against the post and just having 6 people looking forward on it. So it's more or less this sort of
assuming you're not cooking at the same time.
Yeah, you're not cooking on the same time, but still, really cool wet bar feature. So you have the fridges on both sides if you want them. You have a cooker top, and then of course.
Again, and people are probably going to mention. I already see the comments coming in the video about this being indoors, but you have 2 of these that you can open up when you're cooking.
Yes.
So any sort of smoke, fumes, whatever it is, will just work its way right out. So
and now, of course, also with the grill, if you want to be grilling, then you do it outside, and here you can be cooking small things. And then the other features that we have on the Axopars, this you already know, but we still completely continued on doing it. I really love standing and driving, or leaning and driving. So we still incorporated the same sensation and the same view out from the helm, so that wherever you're driving, whatever conditions, you always have perfect visuality and visual overview of the boat. But still, the driving position, leaning, or then full upright standing position, or then the seating position. So this is already all that we did here. Also, what we have standard now on the 45 is actually we took away the joystick for the bow thruster, and we took away the joystick for the trim tabs, and we incorporated into our own developed multifunction steering wheel. So now you can control the trim tabs, the bow thruster, and also the audio controls from a multifunction steering wheel.
That is amazing.
Cleaning up the helm completely.
Yeah. You see the Axopar helm area almost resembles more of a sports car, a luxury car, than it would a boat. And with this, I mean, you're taking it even a step further, but this does resemble the dash of a
and this was more or less the intention from the very first beginning. So we want to create more confident boaters, and more confident boaters we get by having the boat to handle as easy as we can make it. So instead of having too much complexity and too many joysticks, we take them away, because actually how we do the hull, how we do the hydrodynamics with the step hull, with the center of gravity, with the low silhouette and the low weight of the boat, you know how the Axopar handles. This 45 handles exactly like a 37. So it's still, you still feel the size of a 45 footer, but when you turn the wheel, it's a 37 footer, and it's really fun to drive. So it doesn't feel sluggish, it doesn't feel slow. Again, coming for the question of quad engines, or do we need to go over 300 single engines? No, 900 horsepower really pushes this boat already good enough. And that also when it comes to the price point. So a standard boat with standard options is around 550, 600,000 US. This boat, as it's displayed now, is around 700, 750 US.
That's
so
incredible.
Price point for a 45 footer, again, we keep pushing the boundaries, still keeping the quality build, still, you know, pushing the envelope, pushing the limits on what we can do. But that's also one of the reasons why we're producing today over 1,200 boats. And we're selling them all over the world because of the functionality, the design, the user-friendliness, the drivability, the price point, and fuel efficiency. We already mentioned about that. But also then the layouts, everything we have on board. So it's been an interesting ride these years with Axopar, and I really love. And what you're still seeing is only one out of 5 models that's going to come out of the 45 range.
Yeah, well, it's always nice to see the passion that you put behind it. And the effort, obviously, to make this happen. Definitely not an easy thing. We're around a lot of boats, a lot of boat builders, and I have no idea how you do it. But you guys have it figured out. This is a lot of boat for $750,000, and What I'm thinking is how Center Consoles Only is going to get one of these suckers too, to be able to bounce around Miami, because we love to fish, we love all that stuff, but honestly what we do for the most part is we have small children, take our families out, our parents, the grandparents, and enjoy exactly this. And this is like the perfect platform for it. And in today's climate, it's at a price point that's realistic and achievable by more people, which some others have just flown off the hinges, as we know. So it's not cheap, but this is also a 45-foot boat with a lot of options in it.
And looking at what other people have on offer in this size range, I would say that is where we actually also want people to compare. I want people to understand, and I want people to be asking these questions from other boat manufacturers as well. So we're open up for any sort of questions, fuel efficiency, cost, servicing, everything like that. Because it's still not only buying a boat, you also need to maintain it, and you're going to be owning it for years. So it's all the costs that we really try to diminish into the bare minimum in a way. You were asking how we're doing it. There's a Finnish word of it. It's called sisu. And sisu there's no English real word for it, but it's more or less determination.
Sorcery, I think. It's sorcery.
Determination.
No, that's all we can call it. I have no idea, but you guys have done a great job. This thing is amazing, and it's not because I'm standing next to them, but if you jump on this thing, and if you actually experience it, and that's a thing that we want to chat with you about, or a CCO experience, and we want to be able to provide the actual experience to people that otherwise maybe they can't get it. Because I feel if you watch a video, it's great. You see it at a boat show like this, it's great. But when you actually experience it like we did for those 7 days, you know, it's a completely different animal. So when you get I can only imagine what this 45-footer is. You know, spending a day or two or going to the islands and, you know, with your family, it's just an amazing platform to do it. And, you know, hopefully we get the opportunity. But congratulations again for what you guys have done. And I think we got, I don't know if we checked here. Let's check out the cabin area.
Cabin still,
I think that's what we have left. It's endless here.
Yeah.
And again, it's another entertainment space here, another one down here. It's crazy. It's an endless flow of, almost doesn't feel like a 45-foot boat. It feels like you shouldn't be able to fit this much in a 45-footer, but.
So this is probably the standard layout, and now intentionally I'm keeping the Gullwing doors closed, because this would be the traditional front cabin you have on any boat, and with a bed and with an enclosed. So if the weather's humid, if it's raining outside, or you need the AC, but still opening up the Gullwings.
Carefully,
sorry,
somebody there.
I just want to open it up. Sorry. Opening it up on both sides. So we're really opening it up. And now we have the bed, but the bed is this easily converted into a new sofa. So again, talking about getting out from the sun, but still having the breeze, still having the wind, this is a perfect place to be enjoying it.
Of course, feel it even here, being indoors, you feel the breeze automatically coming in.
Into it. Yeah.
The AC is pumping in this place.
There's a space for a microwave inside, there's a sink in here, the enclosed toilet with a shower. So all this functionality we still have inside of the boat.
That's incredible.
So as I said, it's a multifunctional boat with different areas, different layouts, different, you know, you can imagine yourself being out on the water and just not being bored because you're forced to be seated in one location. Right. Many boats are usually focused in one area of the boat. This we actually try to break that mold and just have people sitting in different locations all around the boat, because that also keeps you from getting bored just spending time on the boat.
Yeah, sure. Well, congrats again, once again. I think
we can walk out from here.
Yeah, well, let's walk.
Yep.
There's several different entrances, exits to everything, so the flow is very smooth.
So
this is great.
Yeah, happy to have you on board.
Oh, so thank you very much again for taking the time to walk us through yourself. Know you're a busy man. Congrats, you guys.
My pleasure.
Continuously kill it. And again, we see more and more of these boats in South Florida, and again, you just got to jump on one to see how perfect this is for South Florida, our area, and obviously across the world. It's gaining popularity by the day.
But I think we're already in the United States. We're already way over 1,000 boats in the U.S. waters.
Really?
Already. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
It's also one thing that first, second, and third biggest Axopar dealer are all 3 U.S. dealers.
Really?
So U.S. is a very important market for us, and we really appreciate the U.S. consumers and our Axoparians finding our product, falling in love with the product, but also for the support from our dealers, because without our dealers, we could never do it. It's all about you need to have a great boat, you need to have a great brand, you need to be responsible, you need to be open, you need to be able to talk even the difficult things, but you always need the support of your dealer, and that makes a winning concept. And that's actually, we won also the CIS awards this year, Consumer Index by NMMA.
Oh, okay.
So we were the only European boat manufacturer that received this. So we had the highest satisfaction of new boat owners as one of the top 10 in US.
Yeah, well, building 1,200 boats a year, I can't even imagine all the puzzle pieces that have to come together to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not an easy feat. If not, like I say, everybody would be doing it, but there's not a lot of people doing it.
No.
And you guys do a really good job again. And it's a unique product. You kind of pave your own way. We start seeing some other people kind of watching your stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, that happens when you're doing things right. People are going to mimic you. They're going to copy you, and that's unavoidable. But definitely respect how you trailblaze the market. We see ourselves as something similar. We try not to look to the sides. We compete against ourselves and just try to improve every day. And on the boat building side,
we welcome competition. Don't get me wrong. If a competitor gets it better than us, then we've done something wrong. Then we need to learn.
Sure.
So that is. But also competitiveness is actually what propels and brings the boating community forward, because with this competitiveness, we're able to offer better functioning products for better price points, better build quality, because the customers start demanding this when the competition is out there. So we welcome competition because it
keeps you honest, keeps you on your toes, and if there wasn't any competition pushing you forward, you know, people could get lazy and not continue pushing. For sure. Definitely agree with that. So thank you again, Jan.
Nice
really appreciate it. We look forward to a day on the water on this one. Let's make that happen, and we hope you have a great show here.
Cool. Thank you, Tyler.
All right. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye.